So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our LeBron Era rebuild series. Today it's going to be the Portland Trailblazers. In my mind, this era of Trailblazer basketball was more of a what if than anything. This was a team that certainly showed a lot of promise. They won 48 games this season, but ultimately their real big demise down the line was the injury bug, because Brandon Roy was really good. He was very special once upon a time. Injuries derailed his career. Of course, Greg Oden's on this team as well. He didn't even play this season. So, I think about this team, and I think there just could have been so much more. Now, our goal today is to, of course, continue building upon it, hopefully get this team a championship. I'm happy to be back doing the LeBron Era rebuilds. I know we have not really done a lot of them in recent weeks. That's because I was trying to get through the offseason rebuilds, but my goal is to 100% finish out this series before the actual NBA offseason does arrive. So, I think we're going to do 4 of them this week. I did one yesterday. You guys have seen one today, obviously. Tomorrow's video is likely going to be a challenge, and then we'll cap off Thursday and Friday with one of the LeBron Era rebuilds as well. But, of course, I am looking to hear from you guys. Let me know any other video ideas you guys have for me down below in the comment section. All right, man. Excited for this one today. Let's get into it. We now find ourselves here at the start of the 2010-2011 NBA season. As I mentioned, even with all the injuries, this team did win 48 games. Now, they did lose in round 1 to the eventual champion Dallas Mavericks in 6 games, but we're going to take a look at this roster together, and you'll see why I'm pretty optimistic, because there definitely is a lot of talent here. So, starting out at the point guard spot, 2 pretty solid options, when you look at it from the grand scheme of things in terms of their careers. But it's very interesting because Andre Miller here is 34 years old. He's also on an expiring contract, and is probably not a 3-year option at the point guard spot for me. On the other side of it, we have a 22-year-old Patty Mills. If he was in his prime, maybe there's an argument that he could maybe be my starting guard. But, of course, that is not the case, so we'll eventually assess this situation. We will sort something out, but in all honesty, I don't think either of these guys are going to be starting for 3 years. We move to the shooting guard spot. Unfortunately, Brandon Roy dealt with a lot of injuries in his career. It's one of basketball's big what-ifs. But here in 2K, he's 26 years old, on a really nice contract, and of course we don't play with injuries on here in these unrealistic rebuilds. So I'm super excited to see what we can do for us here today. Behind him, Rudy Fernandez, Elliot Williams, Armin Johnson, 3 kind of lower to mid 70 overall guard options, of course, with Johnson and Williams both only being 21. Definitely a little bit of room to grow. We move to the small forward spot with Nick Batum, who of course is only 21 at this point in time. Now he does end up developing pretty well. I've traded for him a few times in some of these rebuilds, but ultimately I don't know if he's ever going to get to like the high 80s. I'm not going to just completely give up on him, but I do tend to kind of know how the progression does work. Also got Wesley Matthews here, 5 years, $30 million on that contract, so he's going to be a really reliable kind of 6-man option for me. Whether or not he's here the entire time is very much up in the air like everybody, but I like the contract quite a bit. I like the player quite a bit. We'll sort it out. And then Luke Babbitt's only 21, but he's kind of the 3rd small forward on this team right now, which unfortunately we don't really need 3 small forwards. So, I of course could maybe move Babbitt to the 4. I could also move Matthews to the 2. We will sort it all out. We get to the power forward spot with LaMarcus Aldridge, who I think is technically the highest overall on this team. If you were, too young to watch LaMarcus Aldridge in his prime, he was really good. And I fully intend on, maximizing his prime here today. Also got Dante Cunningham, who's 23. And then finally the center spot, which is kind of similarly interesting as the point guard position is. Marcus Camby's 36 is probably not a reliable 3-year option. Greg Oden may end up being our best option at this point. Now, again, fortunately, we have the, bonus of not having to deal with injuries. Greg Oden played, I think it was 3 total NBA seasons, was injured for, I think, 3 or 4 of them. But again, one of the NBA's great what-ifs in terms of injuries. Of course, Greg Oden was drafted 1 pick before Kevin Durant. Fabricio Urbuerto. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I don't really know who this is. And finally, Joel Przybilla. Terrible with names. You all know that. That's the team. There's some pretty good depth here. There's definitely some star power. I wouldn't say we have any superstars on this team. Like, we don't have a Kobe Bryant or a LeBron James-esque player on this team. But we have a lot of really good depth. I think a couple moves can make this team close to contention here for year 1. Our first trade of today's video is going to come with the Indiana Pacers. We are sending Andre Miller, Fabricio Urbuerto, and a 2012 second-round pick to Indiana, and in return, we're going to land ourselves Darren Collison and James Posey. Now, Collison is, 11 years younger. He's only 1 overall lower than Miller, and ultimately has team control throughout the entirety of this video. So, you're more than welcome to discuss who you think's a better player right now, but in terms of the long-term outlook of this team, I think this is a pretty good move for us. Of course, getting James Posey back as well, he's probably not good enough to be in this rotation, so whether or not he's just another depth piece or he could be a trade piece, that's to be determined. But very excited about having Collison here for year number 1. I'm not sure if Marcus Camby would have retired after the first season, but I really don't want to take the risk and find out. So we're going to go ahead, make a move now, send him and Dante Cunningham to the Los Angeles Lakers, and in return, we're going to pick up Lamar Odom. Now, Odom obviously listed as a power forward, whether I'm playing him at the starting center spot, whether maybe Odin gets some run at the starting center spot, maybe I move Aldridge there, I have no idea. But I know for a fact Lamar Odom definitely going to be a nice upgrade with this team. So at this point in time, we do have some decisions to make because, of course, we technically now have two power forwards, but I'm thinking I maybe move Babbitt to the backup power forward spot, have Odom start at center, and maybe just have Odin be the backup behind Odom. That's going to throw me off. Odin and Odom. All right, let me move around some positions. If we're all set, I'll show you guys the rotation. If not, maybe one more deal. The final trade before we kick off year one is going to come with the Memphis Grizzlies. We are sending out Armin Johnson and Joel Prisbilla, sending them to Memphis, and in return, we're picking up Hasheem Thabeet. Now, obviously, we're not doing this deal for Thabeet. We are doing this deal for the first-round draft pick. Both Johnson and Prisbilla are expiring contracts, probably neither of which would have been brought back. So, yeah, it's not a great contract for a 69 overall, but luckily here in 2K in an unrealistic rebuild, it won't be very hard to move. And the draft pick could eventually be a nice asset. All right, I have moved around every position that I needed to. I have assessed this team. Everybody else will remain here, and let's go ahead and set this rotation before we kick off year number one. 3 trades in the books. We are now ready to go for our first season here in Portland. I have established the starting 5 in the entire rotation the way I think it'll work best. Here's how everything shook out. Darren Collison, Brandon Roy, Nicholas Batum, Lamar Odom, and LaMarcus Aldridge, your 1 through 5. I actually did a little bit of checking in terms of who's overall went up, down, everything like that. Between Odom and Aldridge at this power forward and center spot, Odom actually goes down 1 at center, Aldridge went up 1 at center, so decision was pretty easy. Bench unit will be led by Wesley Matthews, Greg Oden going to be the backup center, Luke Babbitt, who I moved to the backup power forward spot, really did not change at all when you moved him from the 3 to the 4. Patty Mills in here will be the backup point guard, and finally Rudy Fernandez rounding out this 10-man rotation. So, I'm pretty excited. I think this is easily a playoff team. Of course, as I've mentioned now a few times, we have the great benefit of no injuries being on. So, excited for year number 1. I'll see you guys at the end of it. Year 1 comes to a close. We finished with a record of 50-32. I'll take it. This was 2 games better than this team actually did in real life. Of course, we made a couple different moves, but I'm feeling pretty good. LeBron James, his first season in Miami, also ends with an MVP. Blake Griffin, Rookie of the Year, Manu Ginobili. I have started to notice that these are pretty much always the same here in year 1. So, wow, 50 wins is a 6 seed in the West. You can see it right there. Let's take a full look at the standings here real quick. Holy smokes, this conference is absolutely loaded. That's insane. And then here's a look at the East. Some things never do truly change. All right, let's talk about some of the numbers for this team. Led in scoring by Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, Darren Collison. I mean, we have a lot of really, really good scoring options with this team. So, it tends to make sense that it's a little bit more spread out than maybe I initially anticipated. But pretty good numbers all around. We're going to be battling with the San Antonio Spurs here in round 1. Tony Parker, Danny Green, Richard Jefferson, Timmy Duncan. Thiago Splitter, you got Manu coming off the bench with George Hill there as well. All right, I mean, this is a good Spurs team. Obviously, they are experienced at this point in time, and I don't know if we're going to win. We're down 3-1, so I don't think so. We do get bounced in 5. I'm not taking a lot of year 1 in terms of the playoffs, but I will take a look at the numbers out of curiosity. Aldridge, not bad. I mean, looks like the scoring output. Batum was... wow, he was really, really bad. Patty Mills was not great, but again, he's in a pretty limited role. Okay, well, we are going to head into offseason number 1, knowing we have a pretty established team, on our hands. There's no reason to panic right now. LeBron, Dwayne Wade, going to be getting it done. They win a championship. Okay, let me just see. Any Trailblazers retiring? Good thing, by the way, that I went ahead and traded Marcus Camby. All right, staff retirements, jersey retirements, historic changes, not much. Draft lottery, I don't think we could have possibly traded for any picks, and obviously we were in the playoffs, so nothing there. Staff signing, Nate McMillan. Whoa, boy. Okay, I don't know what it is, because Nate McMillan is, not a fantastic out of this world head coach, but he's definitely better than 2 stars offensively, 1 star defensively. So I can't work with that. I need something just a little bit better. Now, because yesterday's video, I saw a coach, Mike D'Antoni, sitting here, who I almost signed. I'm blanking on his name. Otis Newman, somebody I've gotten in the past. Harry Stotts. Fuck, what was his name? I'm completely blanking. Was it this guy? Dion Park. I think it was this guy. Dion Park. Those ratings are pretty good. And then I'll also, just in case, maybe throw an offer. Stauffer's not going to be my priority. Like, if they both accept, I'm going with Dion. All right, we're going to sign Dion Park. Welcome to Portland. Going to be a new head coach, obviously, and improved in the ratings department. Okay, it is time for the 2011 NBA draft. We have the 21st overall pick in round 1 and then 20 in round 2. I am not going to be using that. I will draft somebody, with my first round pick, though. Let's see who's sitting here. Markieff Morris. Dirk Shoemaker. Okay. I think it probably makes the most sense just to take Morris. Probably the best option sitting there on the board. Welcome to the team. All right, he's going to come in at a 74 overall. Team player options, everybody here will be brought back. We look at qualifying. Greg Oden will be a restricted free agent, which why would we not have bird rights on Greg Oden? Can 2K please explain that to me? Why the former #1 overall pick, the team that drafted him, would not have bird rights on him? Thank you very much, 2K. Out of curiosity, wants like $6 million, and I can give it to him, so we'll go from there. All right, I have to determine at this point in time if I think another major trade could potentially be worth it. We are going to look to pull off a big blockbuster deal here with the Atlanta Hawks. Look, I'm not judging Nicholas Batum on the one playoff series we saw him have in this video, and although it was not necessarily a great series, I know for a fact that he's going to progress. He's entering a contract season, and I think Josh Smith would be a clear-cut upgrade. So we're going to offer Batum, Babbitt, and Thabeet in this deal. They all have to be in here to make the money work. We ultimately have the depth to swing a deal like this. Let's see if Atlanta's willing to do it. They're not willing to take that. Are there any other players I could throw in? Like, do you want Elliott Williams, whoever that is? Okay, cool. Trade pulled off. I'm super excited to have Josh Smith on this team. Only 25 years old, 87 overall, and he's going to take over at the starting small forward spot for me, which means Markieff Morris will now be the new backup behind Lamar Odom. Also, I'm not going to lie, a Lamar Odom trade certainly possible. Again, want to strike while the iron is certainly hot. Well, I just said it, and now it is coming true. We are sending Lamar Odom, James Posey, Rudy Fernandez, and a 2015 second-round pick to the Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to land Rudy Gay and Tony Allen here in return. Now, I understand that the small forward spot is obviously looking pretty loaded right now. We have 4 guys that are all 80-plus overalls. I'm going to play Josh Smith at the power forward spot. His overall may go down 1. Not really super worried about that. And then Tony Allen was a nice throw into the deal, but unfortunately, I know for a fact that he does regress insanely fast. So I'm likely going to flip him immediately. We have lost a little bit of depth in the moves we have made so far. So Tony Allen could get me, either, I don't really need center. We'll re-sign Odin. Just some sort of backup guard. Also fully aware I could just maybe move Tony Allen to the 2, but his overall does regress pretty fast. I know that for a fact. So let's just see some options here. Again, I don't really expect to get an 80-plus overall, but if I can get somebody who's on the multi-year deal and definitely has a little bit of promise, I would certainly welcome that. Oh boy, not really loving any of this. Darko Milicic. This Suns pick is unprotected next year. Actually might be the best option out of all of it. It's an unprotected first in Phoenix. They did just draft Kyrie, but I think this is worth it. All right, I'm gonna give them Tony Allen. We may hurt a little bit in the depth department, but I'm not terribly worried about it. We're gonna go ahead. I definitely throw a little bit of money here at Sean Livingston. Oh, I forgot about Patty Mills, but honestly, Livingston's an upgrade. And then I am definitely gonna make sure I get Odin back at some point as well. He has no offers, but again, he is restricted. Bring in Sean Livingston. Oh, shit. The Thunder, of course. Of course it is the fucking Thunder. Why didn't I just check? Why did I not just check? God damn it. Oh, I can still get Livingston? Wow. Okay. I did not think that was going to be the case. Or his only offer. Cool. And then the shooting guard is going to be pretty bad. I know that for, a fact. It's just kind of the reality of the situation we find ourselves in. And Brandon Roy, again, is going to eat up a lot of the minutes, but that's fine. Okay, Keith Bogans, Larry Hughes, Marquise Daniels. I don't know. I mean, nobody here gets me that excited. Is there any possible way? Can I get Patty Mills back, maybe? I don't think I'll have any sort of right on him, and I don't think he was even a qualifying. Patty Mills. No. I mean, I'll offer him the contract. Yeah, this is just not going to happen. Okay, well, we are going to, I guess Keith Bogans is fine. He's going to regress. We'll upgrade the backup shooting guard spot next offseason. It's year 2 here in Portland. Year 1 was pretty good. Of course, ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs after winning 50 games. To be fair, we were also a 6 seed. We had a pretty busy pretty busy offseason, though. We've established that this team is better than we were last year. At least that's my opinion on paper. And really hoping things shake out that way. Darren Collison, Brandon Roy, Rudy Gay, Josh Smith, LaMarcus Aldridge, bench unit, Wesley Matthews, Greg Oden, Sean Livingston, Markieff Morris, and Keith Bogan. So, again, hurting a little bit on the back end, but not terribly worried about it for 10 minutes a night for 9 and 10. All right, man, new head coach as well in Deion Park, and I'm really hoping this team can be a top 4 seed here in the West. See you guys at the end of year number 2. A nice 7-game improvement year over year sees us finish with a record of 57 and 25. I 1,000% will take it. I believe it is a top 2 spot in the West. Hopefully we're, winning a championship. We'll find out. Derrick Rose, unbelievable season. He's going to be your MVP. Kawhi Leonard is a Minnesota Timberwolf. He's your Rookie of the Year. Agent Zero coming off the bench, your 6th man. Josh Smith does win Defensive Player of the Year. You do not see that one too often, so pretty cool. Welcome to... Oh, I'm looking at that 3-point percentage. Okay, Goran Dragic, most improved. Thibs is your coach of the year. Holy shit, 69 wins over there in Chicago. All right, we are the 2 seed here, so that's pretty good news. Hopefully these Demons and Golden State, I'm surprised the Thunder aren't even, in the mix. They typically end up winning like 70 fucking games in these videos. Here are the numbers. Led in scoring by Brandon Roy at under 17 points. Again, a very well spread out attack with 6 guys in double figures. Greg Oden almost made that 7. The rebound department was led by Smith. Assist is going to be Collison. So, first round, we're taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. Bledsoe, Gordon, Michael Beasley, Blake Griffin, DJ. Really solid squad there. Again, there's really not an easy matchup no matter who you're facing, what the seeds are in the West, but looks like we're handling them pretty easily as we do sweep. Okay, Dallas, Jason Kidd, Deshaun Stevenson, Sean Marion, Dirk Nowitzki, Tyson Chandler. You got Jason Terry off the bench, Rodrigo Berbois, I think it is. Nonetheless, I'd like to beat them. They, again, definitely are the best player in the series. I think we're a little bit more well-balanced. Up 3-1, closing them out. And here comes the Golden State Warriors, who are really good. There's no denying that. They've added Andre Karolinko, Epke Udo's here, Jason Richardson, Darrell Wright, Andres Biedrus. Oh, boy. This Warriors team is loaded, and obviously Steph Curry is fully arrived at this point in time. We are down 3-1. We end up getting bounced in 5 games. Disappointing end to what was a really promising season. All right, Smith was good. Oh, boy. Tough series for Brandon Roy and Rudy Gay. Yeesh. All right, it is championship or bust time as we are going to enter the final offseason. Steph Curry, finals MVP. And we are going to go ahead. Oh, my God. Shaq went to the Thunder. Oh, my God. Okay, well, we are going to have to decide if this core, this starting 5, is good enough, or if we need to make another kind of major-ish move. Now, here's a look at the draft law. Oh, my God, I forgot we traded for the Phoenix pick. Holy shit, and it's projected to be number 1. 2K, I need a little bit of luck on my side right now. Oh, my God. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Which means, technically, I can draft Anthony Davis if I want, which is something I've always wanted to do in one of these videos, but have yet to get the opportunity to do so. I think I have to take Anthony Davis. Now, I mean, my brain's telling me just trade the damn pick for an upgrade somewhere. I mean, like if I do Darren Collison, who's expired, if I do like Livingston at number 1, what am I offered just out of curiosity? Yeah, no. I don't think I could take that. I mean, Rudy Gay in number 1, nothing. I'm drafting Anthony Davis. I know he's going to be a rookie. I know that we could probably, swing a blockbuster here, but I'm going to take AD. I think it makes the most sense. Far and away the best player here. All right, and then we're also going to go ahead and take somebody here. Aaron Baines, a possibility, probably just a trade piece, but sure, welcome to the team as well. All right, really excited about Anthony Davis coming in at an 83 overall. Absolutely insane. Darren Collison going to be brought back. We, at this point in time, I don't think we have any major free agents. I think I kind of set ourselves up so that was not the case, but it is definitely time to make another trade. We're going to hit up the Memphis Grizzlies and see if we can maybe swing a deal to get ourselves Mike Conley. Now, Darren Collison has been solid, same with Wesley Matthews, but if we need an upgrade anywhere, it's likely our point guard spot. Let's see if they're... Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought. Welcome to the team, Mike Conley. At this point in time, I'm pretty sure I'm content with pretty much everybody here. Maybe have one more trade. No more trades. We are just going to sign Leandro Barbosa to be our new backup shooting guard. 2 years, roughly $4.5 million. I will now see you guys at the start of the 3rd and final season. It is officially championship or bust time here in Portland. We made another major move this offseason, adding Mike Conley to this team. Of course, we also landed the number 1 overall pick and drafted Anthony Davis. So I'm really excited. A little nervous if this thing's going to work or not, but I'm feeling pretty good right now. Mike Conley, Brandon Roy, Josh Smith, Anthony Davis, LaMarcus Aldridge. By the way, yes, I did move Smith back to the 3. Bench unit, I would say, has also improved. We've added some depth, and obviously with Rudy Gay now sliding into that 6-man role, significantly improves the second unit. With Rudy Gay, Greg Oden, Sean Livingston, Leandro Barbosa, Markieff Morris. All right, man, this is it. The time is now. I will see you guys at the end of the final regular season. After winning a finals MVP and a championship, Steph Curry wins a regular MVP, but who cares? More importantly, this team was really good. Maybe the greatest ever. In terms of record, they were 74-8. Now, I 74 wins is fun. It's exciting. It's really cool to see. It's not something I do super often in the LeBron era. It's something I can do with current rebuilds and rebuild challenges, but not something you see a ton of in the LeBron era. So this team is special. I don't want to get ahead of myself. We got a championship to win. Anthony Davis does win Rookie of the Year for, holy shit, does it say 16.7% from beyond the arc? Just maybe stick inside the paint, big man. Anthony Randolph is your 6th man. You got Timmy D winning D point, Jeremy Lin most improved, and Deion Park, our head coach, 74-8. Yeah, I didn't think this was a 74-win team. Holy shit. Thank God they got rid of this division thing. I mean, can you imagine a 41-win team being a 3 seed over like a 59 win team. It's so insane. And then here's a look at the Eastern Conference. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the numbers for this team. Again, a very well spread out, balanced scoring attack. Anthony Davis, as a 20-year-old rookie, did lead this team in scoring, and then you can kind of take a look at everybody else's numbers as they do fall in. Rebounds was also AD. Assists is going to be Mike Conley, nearly 10 a game. All right, Sacramento Kings in round 1. Boogie Cousins is really good. This team does not scare me really whatsoever. Whoa, that went to 6. Okay, maybe I need to be a little bit more careful. That being said, our leading scorer is a rookie, so kind of, oh shit, this is terrifying. All right, round 2 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Can we get it done, beat them, advance to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in this video? We do. Oh, wait, no, we were in the West Finals last year. You get my point, though. Now it is time to hopefully advance to the NBA Finals. And it is the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, obviously coming off a really, really strong season where he won an MVP, and they're also the defending champs, but also won 70 games. I'm a little nervous, not going to lie to you. We're up 2-1 right now. We go up 3-1. We close them out in 5. Close them out in 5, and we are taking on the Chicago Bulls, who are certainly no walk in the park here in the NBA Finals. They are a really, really talented team with another MVP in Derrick Rose. We are up 3-0 right now, and we are hopefully going to be getting a championship here as we enter the final game. Maybe. Final game. We get this done here on the road in Chicago. Looks like we're going to be doing that. See you guys in there. With just over 2 minutes to go here in Game 4, we are currently up by 10 points. Now, we're feeling pretty good, but I have blown leads before. I am certainly, probably going to blow one again, but we are going to do our best. That's got to be a 5-second violation. To hold off the... Oh, my God, we got a little steal there. Run the floor, run the floor. Brandon... Oh, my God, that's not where I was going. Okay, well, we did not get the fast break opportunity. Mike Conley, little quick jump shot is good, and we have extended it to 12. All right, I mean, when you think about this era of Trailblazers basketball, pre-Damian Lillard, I wasn't super old for it. I don't have, very vivid memories of it. But, Brandon Roy, Greg Oden, obviously two pretty big what-ifs. And it sucks. Injuries are one of the worst things in the world. You think about what Greg Oden could have possibly been, and you just have to wonder, what it could have been. Truly. I mean, when you think of what I said that same thing twice. When you think of just how talented he was, it's really sad to, see how his NBA career played out, because I do think he would have been a quality NBA player if the injury thing wasn't, real, but it is, and we see this from time to time. Hell, the guy we're going up against here in some scenarios is a what-if. In Derrick Rose, at least he was able to get an MVP. I believe he played in the conference finals, but I'm getting fucking torched by him right now. But, Portland, I really hope that, I like Portland basketball. I do. I don't really know why, but they're just such a fun franchise that I almost feel bad for in some sense of it. But nonetheless, we're going to be closing this one out. Mike Conley, pretty strong showing right there. Couldn't get that one to go. The greatest season in NBA history has come to an end, and it sees our rookie power forward, #1 overall pick, winning Finals MVP. I think we made the right decision in drafting him instead of maybe trading the pick. All right, man, what a team, what a ride, what a video. Had a lot of fun with this one. As I mentioned, really happy to be back doing the LeBron era rebuilds. I'm getting closer and closer to finishing off this series. I know last year, I think we got about 20 out of 30 teams done, and then it just kind of ran out of time. So definitely a big goal of mine this year to finish this one off. Of course, the offseason rebuilds as well will be done, of course, after the NBA Finals. And yeah, man, that's going to wrap this one up. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.